What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Kyang.
We're going to be flipping for 1 hour with 25 mil. See how much we can make, see if it competes with the most popular boss killing methods currently in old school RuneScape. I think it will. I think 25 mil is a great start. After, you go through 5 mil, 10 mil, and you eventually get to 25 mil, this is where, in my personal opinion, you start making money flipping. With that being said, let's go through a brief overview of what flipping is. Pretty much, you buy an item for above its market price, you sell it back for below its market price, whatever it buys and sells for, that is its margin. You buy low in that margin, and then you sell back for high in that margin. Usually, my method of flipping, most items don't take more than 20 minutes to flip, which is a pretty good method because you're eventually going to make some serious money, especially when you start out with 25 mil. This is where you make the serious money, in my opinion. If you haven't seen my most recent 0-200 mil episode 5, I suggest you click on that link in the top right because we started off flipping the Vigorious Chain Mace, which is a Revenant drop. You can flip 8 every 4 hours, and in the Discord, flipping this right now, you can see that the margin on these items are crazy and they buy and sell super quick. You also know every time you flip a big item, you also have to do a filler flip to make up for that money that you're going to be losing if the big item doesn't go through. It's more of a precaution to make sure that you're still making money no matter what you're flipping. So for the first time, our filler flip is going to be Zora Scales. Amazing flip that I always suggest if you haven't flipped it in the 4 hours. You can buy 30,000 every 4 hours and buy and sell just as quick as any other item in the game because they are one of the most used items in the game. So after some of the Zora Scales sold, we went ahead and checked the margin on Rune Darts, and surprise, they had a pretty good margin. Most darts usually do. You can flip 11,000 of every kind of darts except myth darts every 4 hours. Myth darts are the only exception. You can only flip 7,000 of them every 4 hours, which is weird. I really don't know why Jagex did that, but I don't work at Jagex, so I really don't know. But yeah, usually Rune Darts have a pretty good margin, and I love to flip them when I'm flipping bigger items. We also, as a Vigorious Chain Mace is sold, we also repun the buy offer for them. You want to keep a hold on the market that you're trying to take advantage of. So I don't want another flipper to come in and undercut me for the item I'm trying to buy, because again, I'm trying to buy these items as fast as possible so I make the most profit per hour. That's really the name of the game. As you flip, you'll learn more and you'll be able to feel, okay, I think maybe a flipper undercut me, so you gotta change up your margins a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. A lot of people say undercutting really isn't flipping and you're not doing anything to help the economy. If you don't undercut, then you make a significantly less amount of money, and why would you do that to yourself? That's literally dumb. So just undercut, and the other flippers that complain need to get better. If you're new to my channel, then you probably don't know I love flipping darts. Any kind of dart. I don't know why. They're some of my favorite flips, and I literally can't tell anybody why because I don't know why myself. Anyway, we went ahead and checked the margin on Dragon Darts. Again, they had a pretty good margin. You can flip 11,000 every 4 hours. They usually have a 30 to like 100 GP margin, and sometimes they buy quick, sometimes they buy slow. It really just depends on where you catch the margin at. We also adjusted the sell offers for the Vigorious Chain Mace because they weren't selling fast enough, and I only had an hour, so I really didn't have that much time to wait. So I had to really quick sell them, try to get them out there so I can flip more items. After the Vigorious Chain Mace is sold, I went straight ahead and flipped some Amulet Furies. This is one of the best flips you can do if you have less than 100 mil cash stack, because sometimes they have a 10k margin. Other times I've seen them have up to like 200k margin, and they buy and sell literally as quick as I just snapped my finger, which is amazing for like this high value item. We also, with the rest of our cash stack, we put an offer for some cannonballs. You can buy 7,000 every 4 hours. They usually have a 2 to about 10 GP margin, so you can make a pretty nice profit up to like 70k usually is what I've seen. Sometimes you might be able to get lucky and they have a 20 GP margin and you make bank from 7,000 cannonballs that sell just as quick as the Furies do. Usually after I check the margin on darts, check the margin on bolt, I go straight into the bars. I chose Mentor bars. You can flip 10,000 every 4 hours. The margins are okay. Really all bars margin is just okay. They're pretty good filler flip. I wouldn't flip them independently. Another great flip is gonna be Toxic Blowpipes. Sometimes they have a 100k margin, sometimes they have a 20k margin. It really just depends. You can flip 8 every 4 hours and they buy and sell pretty quick. Checking the filler flips, I usually go right into food after I do my bars, raw and cooked. Sometimes if you catch a food item right, they have a pretty good margin. This time around, manta rays have the best margin that I could find. You can flip 10,000 manta rays every 4 hours, and they usually have a 30 GP margin, which isn't bad, and they buy and sell pretty quick because PKers like to use them because they are one of the best food items in the game. After food, the next filler flip I like to do are pots, like prayer pots, super combat potions, super restores, you know, the high GP pots. All of those you can flip 2,000 every 4 hours, and their margins are iffy and they go pretty quick. So if you do decide to flip these, be careful because the margins do change literally every minute or so. I'm warning you. But when you catch it right, I'm talking about when you catch the margin at the right time. I made over 500k off of pots one time in I think like 5 minutes, which that's an amazing flip. And what you all are probably waiting for, Amulet Tortures. You can flip 8 every 4 hours. And in this session alone, they had a 300k margin. That is ridiculous for one item to have a 300k margin. That means if I had more money and I can flip all 7, I could have made 2 mil in 5 freaking minutes, which is insane. I pretty much flipped these items together: Carol's Leather Top, Bendo's God Swords, and Mysterious Emblems. If you haven't seen my previous video, Mysterious Emblems are my new favorite flip. They have like a 2k margin most of the time, which is ridiculous amount of profit if you can catch the margin right. Bendo's God Swords, you can flip 8 every 4 hours, and people buy and sell them all the time, so another great flip. Usually they have a 50k to about 200k margin. Carol's Leather Top, if you haven't seen my 0 to 100 mil episode 5, I would suggest again, please go check that out because I really took advantage of these. I went to further detail. You can flip 15 every 4 hours and their margin is about 30k almost consistently, and they buy and sell pretty quick because they are all one of the most useful items in the game, and that's really what you want to do when you flip. You want to flip the useful items. Emblems are useful because of PKers, because of the bounty hunter shop, etc, etc. Bendo's God Swords, you know, people use those at Vorkey to drop their defense, so they're constantly being bought and sold. Carrots of the Tops, it's one of the best items for mage defense in the game. The God Sword sold, I just instant sold the emblems real quick to see how much we made. 1.3 mil in 1 hour. That is ridiculous. That means with 25 mil, you are making one of the best money makers in the game. Check your margins because that's how you're gonna make this profit. You gotta constantly check your margins. Again, I always preach it, don't rely on the website when you're checking your margins. Check your margins for yourself. A lot of people are using a website to check their margins and they could be missing out on some amazing flips. Just constantly check your margins and you will do fine. You will probably make more profit per hour checking your margins rather than going to a website. Going back to RuneScape. Going back to a website. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave me a like. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, is your boy King and I'm out. Peace.